Here's the truth. Most people never want to admit. I didn't win because I added more. I won because I stopped doing 5 things. These habits look normal. They even look noble, but they were anchors. They were huge weights on my shoulder, invisible weights. The day I dropped them, everything changed. Income exploded, confidence exploded, and I became unrecognizable to my old self. If you're serious about scaling, pay attention to this video. This will change your life. Number 1, I stopped waiting to feel ready. I started acting well before I was ready. It changed the game for me. I always say this was one of my top 2 habits that took me from failing to succeeding. Readiness is the biggest lie. Always planning to plan. I'm not going to do something until I'm perfect. The most dangerous thought I ever carried was, I'll start when I'm ready. I never started because I was never ready. You're never ready for a thing until you go out and do it. Burn that in your mind. I used to always plan endlessly. I was always planning to plan. I overthought everything. Nothing changed, except it created more and more frustration. Now, how many of you are planning to plan all the time? I was waiting for clarity before I ever acted, before I ever moved. But clarity never comes first. Commitment comes first. Why did I go from failing to earning 7 figures? My commitments became much greater. They became much more convicted. Remember this, winners act without guarantees. Real success rewards urgency, not perfect planning. Here's the framework. Launch before you're ready. Learn fast, act often, believe bigger. Version 1 is allowed to suck. And I'm going to tell you this, you have to embrace the suck. Every time you do something, you suck a little less. You suck a little less, then you become good. Then you become great. Then you become extraordinary. Then you become a master. And then you're going to create a movement. No decision is still a decision. It's a decision that I'm going to stay stuck. But it's also a commitment. I'm committed to the struggling. Is that you? I want you to answer that because it was me and I can relate to you, but you could change it. Understand, you are the best investment in the world. There is no better investment than you. Let that sink in. But let me ask you this. What's the one thing you've been planning for way too long? Is it a business? Is it getting in the best shape of your life? Is it creating a world-class income for you and your family? Drop it in the comments below and let's kill this overthinking. Let's kill negotiating with ourselves. Let's kill perfectionism together. Before I go into number 2, I want to share with you how this all got activated in me. I always brag that I had the greatest mentor in the world in Bob Proctor. This man just was so special to me and he changed my life. But one day we're having a conversation and he said, Arash, you have to just get the right direction. Follow my direction, do exactly what I tell you to do. Now, at this moment, I'm jazzed up. I'm excited. Like I'm believing in somebody else before I'm believing in myself. Anyway, as soon as we get off this call, I'll never forget it. I don't know what started this for me. He didn't instruct me to do this, but I decided to do this. I said, I'm going to identify the habits that are killing my life, literally killing my success. And a couple came to mind. I discovered what my hidden habits were. One was what I just went over. I was always planning to plan. And then I said, I'm always procrastinating. That was another one. And I started thinking, gosh, I rationalize a lot. I'm always settling for good enough. Well, I wrote these down on a paper and then I started doing the opposite. I started doing everything right away. I started moving before I'm ready. Well, everything changed. So I want you to leverage my story because remember, it's only a story because I implemented it, but I want you to leverage the game-changing writing exercise that opened everything up for me. It opened so many doors. But now let's get into number 2. I stopped doing everything myself. See, you have to do it by yourself, but you can never do it alone. Success always leaves clues. Self-made sounds sexy, but the truth is, lone wolves don't win. It's called self-sabotage. We need an army with us. And the beautiful part is you want to leverage everyone's experience who's already creating the results you want. That's what I did, and everything changed. Within 24 months, I went from being $150,000 in debt to earning 7 figures. Put that in your mind. I would have never thought that was possible. But why I was losing is I used to wear this badge. I do it all by myself, like it was a badge of honor. It was a badge of defeat is what it was. It was a dumb idea. But millionaires don't do that at all. They leverage. So I said, I've got to start leveraging. What did I tell you with my story? I leveraged my mentor's belief before I had it myself. I leveraged my old habits and did the opposite. So I started outsourcing and I started editing my identity. I hired the greatest mentor in the world for me. I got in rooms as often as I could because proximity is power. But I got into rooms where I wasn't the smartest guy. I was quite opposite. I was just getting started, but I was hungry. And remember, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be obsessed to create the life that you really deserve. My return on investment, faster results, fewer mistakes, so much certainty than I ever had when I was a lone wolf, when I was doing it myself. So here's the question I need you to ask. Who can help you move faster? Who's coming in your mind? I want you to act on it right away. What systems, what processes can speed up my time? I want you to use time as a tool. What room will challenge my ceiling? I want you to get in those rooms. Leverage is what scales your identity. Picture this. My old schedule, chaos. I was working through grinding through a lot of hours, but no production. My new schedule, focus, delegated, productive, intentional, convicted, and it changed everything. Now let's talk about the third one. Most people glorify it, but it almost broke me. Number 3, I stopped glorifying the hustle. Being busy isn't noble. It's a distraction to the life you really want. It's noise. Now, how many could relate to what I was? I was busy being busy, but I wasn't productive. I wasn't creating results. Results told me I wasn't productive. Now, I was exhausted every day because I was doing everything I could, but no better off. Hustle used to feel good because I equated exhaustion with my self-worth. I thought being tired meant I was more valuable. I wasn't more valuable. I was still working the wrong way. And boy, was I wrong. I was doing 10 things a day, but none of them were intentional. None of them were convicted, and none of them were moving the needle. The shift. What was the shift? I started asking, what actually produces my results? And here's the reframe. Efficiency equals elimination. If you are right now watching this and you want to create a massive quantum leap, understand quantum leaps are about elimination. I cut 80% of my to-do list. In 90 days, I doubled my income. Now put that in your mind. I started doing 3 to 4 things every day, but I did them in a great way. I did them with passion. I did them with certainty. Remember, I didn't have the certainty. I borrowed my mentor's certainty. I want you to borrow my certainty. If you're watching this and you're watching me, I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. But I started focusing on what mattered the most. I always called it what moves the needle the most, my power moves. I started acting with intention, with strategy mixed in. I built trust in myself. I stopped wasting time doing the wrong things. What were the wrong things? Anything that didn't move the needle, I eliminated. I started focusing on my highest income producing activities. Why? Because I said the 80-20 rule. What is the 80-20 rule? 20% of my activities are creating 80% of my results. So I doubled down on the 20%. Now the fourth one, this one was tough. I stopped needing validation. Now what's going through your mind right now? Are you needing to be liked? You've got to eliminate this. This is one of the sabotaging behaviors that are counter to you earning 7 figures. Chasing approval is what bankrupted my potential. I used to always need everybody's opinions. I used to get feedback from everybody, but I was getting feedback from people who were struggling like me. When I changed from failing to succeeding, when I created financial independence, it wasn't after I received the independence, it wasn't once I became a millionaire. I started changing these habits when I was struggling. I adjusted based on judgment and created trust. I started behaving before I was ready. I acted on ideas right away. I would leverage other people's mindset, other people's strategies. I became great at studying models. See, that's when everything changed. Millionaires don't wait for approval. They embrace the suck, as I talked about earlier. They embrace failure. Now understand this. Failures are not all the same. 2 people can fail, have the same outcome that didn't work out, but one was willing to behave outside of their identity. The other one said, I'm going to try to do this. Even though the outcome was the same, they're starting to learn how to win. I had to learn how to win. But in order to learn how to win, I had to learn how to lose. So I want to give you this framework. I became obsessed with my vision. I painted my vision in my mind every day. Understand, whatever we commit to in our mind, we're going to hold it in our hand. But so what I did was I chose vision over validation. And I want you to ask yourself, am I doing things for optics of how good I'll look, that I'll fit in or I'll conform? Like the great Earl Nightingale used to say, conformity is cowardice. So are you doing it needing to be liked, or are you doing it to create the life you really want? I want to change your life today. Do you know you could change your life today? Would you be doing the things you were doing if nobody cared? And I want you to ask yourself this. I'll never forget when I started changing these habits, success came at me so fast. You got to understand, I didn't think it was going to happen at first, but I kept behaving my way into that new identity. I kept acting on different ideas. I kept upgrading my identity and standards, and everything chased me. Now, the final shift, this one gave me so much passion, and it activated something inside of me 19 years ago that has never died. I don't know what it was, but somebody got active. I became hungrier than I've ever been. Understand this. There's somebody who woke up today that is hungry to change their life. And if you're not as hungry, they're going to outperform you. Now, number 5, and I want you to lock in on this because this is essential. I killed off the old me. Your next level is being held hostage right now by your current identity. I had to stop negotiating with the old me. I had to make decisions for my future self, not my current and past self. The me that was addicted to struggle, the me that was addicted to my old self, I had to let go. See, understand, that version of me was very reactive, inconsistent, afraid of real risk. But then I learned there's another version of me that's dying to come out. Right now, if you're motivated from this, understand there's another version of you saying, come on, there's more for us to do. And if you're not risking right now, you're risking it all. So I declared a war on the old me. I stopped being addicted to who I was, and I started being obsessed of who I could be. And I replaced that person. Our greatest responsibility is how we think. To change your life, you have to think different. You have to be different. You have to act different. Identity isn't personality. Identity is proven through your habits. I became the guy who finishes what he starts. Where before, my old me, I would be a great starter and a terrible finisher. I remember I was sharing about my mentor, the first conversation I had with him, he said, Arash, you're going to need great discipline. And I said, that's where you're going to lose me, Bob. I said, I'm a great starter and a terrible finisher. And he started laughing so loud. I actually didn't think it was that funny because it was really something that was holding me back so deeply. But he said, Arash, the only thing is because you didn't have the right direction. But here's what I discovered. When my hunger grew, my commitments grew, my discipline followed. The guy who speaks with certainty, the guy who charges with confidence. And one day I said out loud, I don't even recognize myself anymore. That's when I knew I had built the version I respected. So what part of your old self needs to die? Drop one trait in the comments today. I want you to think, is it procrastination? So you're gonna do the opposite. You're gonna do everything right away. You're gonna do it now, do it now, do it now. Is it needing approval? You're gonna build trust with yourself. You're gonna activate your faith muscle. Now, I want you to lock in on this. Now, these 5 shifts weren't about adding. They were about subtracting. They were about elimination. And what was left was a $1 million version of me. There was no more waiting, no more solo struggle, no more busy work, no more chasing applause, no more playing small. That's why I changed, and I want you to change. And understand this. I've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people change, so if I can help them, I can help you. Real quick, if this is hitting home for you, and you are ready to really change your life, to transform your life, to really live a life of freedom, hit the like and subscribe button, and I'm going to give you the most amazing processes, the most amazing frameworks that's going to change your life.